She's doing quiet vlogging.
Quiet vlogging.
Yeah, because I'm so hot right now.
Hi everyone! Welcome to my vlog. So for today, I have a lot of guests. Nandito ang aking mentor sa vlogging, Dr. Tess.
Hello.
At nandito rin po ang ating special guest, ang kanyang asawa, si Sir Levs. And of course, I have my friend here, Ma'am Sarah. I would like to promote Litton Hotel. This is actually our first time in Litton Hotel. Also the food. Thank you po Kuya Michael. Kay Sir, kay Sir Levs. That is
Wagyu.
That is Thank you po. Thank you po, Sir Michael. Ano pong order mo, Ma'am?
I have Caesar
Sarap na.
salad.
Yeah. Sa akin yung regular pork chop. Ma'am
This
Sarah.
one is pie.
Ayan. Yum yum. And then kay Sir Levs.
And mine is I'm not gonna tip it because the baby is gonna fall out. But it's Wagyu.
So, Wagyu.
So I've only tried this once before.
In Dubai.
Yeah, in Dubai. So this is my second. Well, actually, no. This is my second time in the Philippines.
So for this particular video, we are going to talk about quiet quitting. Familiar with the quiet quitting of this?
Naririnig ko na siya, pero yung talagang pinaka-detail niya or deeper knowledge about it, wala pa. Parang definition lang sa Google yung nakakita ko.
Nakikita mo. The reason why we invited one particular very intellectual person na in terms ng mga ganyan ng mga conversation, topic, subject, si Sir Levs talaga yung maaasahan.
Lumampas sa akin.
Lumampas sa yung si Sir Levs talaga yung maaasahan natin. On top of the fact na he's very blunt about it. He can also provide a lot of objective perspective. Okay. So yun. Sir Levs, welcome to the vlog.
Thank you for inviting me. And actually, yung the actual word itself, quiet quitting. The first time I heard it was from Tess. That she said that we're going to have a blog about it. Yun. Because I'm not, shall we say, very active in TikTok or all of these local things. But the idea of it is not new to me. I mean, in China, they have this thing called lying flat.
Lying.
Yeah, lying flat. It has a Chinese name, but the translation is lying flat. And it's basically a reaction to what happened in the pandemic. Yeah, so it started in 2021. Basically, it's the same thing. Like in quiet quitting, what do you do? No, I mean, I'm asking you.
That's the question.
We haven't introduced it yet. What is quiet quitting?
Actually, we have this particular perspective na quiet quitting is more of working on an average. Parang kung ano yung salary mo, then you just work within that. There's no extra mile, there's no bad.
Going beyond.
No going beyond what is expected.
Yeah, okay. Yan. So, no plus ultra na tinatawag.
Yeah.
Yung mga mahilig sa anime na gets yun. Pero yung mga hindi, yun, i-search nyo lang. Anyway, yun. So, sa Philippines meron tayong quiet quitting. But I've heard about it last year in China. Yun nga, yung lying flat. Which is to say, kasi sa China mas, actually even more, parang ang culture nila. Meron silang katawag na 996 culture. You work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days a week. That's it.
996.
That is a parang normal operating procedure ng mga companies doon sa China. So, basically, ang response ng mga, especially young ones obviously, is to not exert even more effort because they feel na okay na yun.
Yes.
Why join the rat race? Kasi it's very, very common sa China talaga. Grabe ang pressure. It starts with even elementary school. You have to do very well. Alam naman natin yung stereotype ng, tiger mom. Diba? Alam natin yan. So, kung meron tayong version yan dito sa Pilipinas, mas grabe sa mga Chinese countries, right? So, parang naging reaction naman ng mga bata na, ayoko na because not everyone will, prosper in that situation. Tapos, there's another development here lying flat, naging let it rot. Which is even more na pag sinabing let it rot, don't exert any effort to improve your situation. So halimbawa, you got fired from your job, then just
accept it.
just accept it and don't even try to look for a job, don't even try to change it. So parang just let the idea is, you know, to let the entire system collapse. That's the idea. That's why they don't like it. The people in power, in charge, you know, companies, governments, they don't like these kinds of, you know, quiet quitting. Like,
The reason why
like
probably we can also hear quiet firing.
quiet firing, ano ba yun? Yung walang ano? Wala, di ka mapagalitan?
Yung quiet firing, yung akala mo it's okay that you are doing that, but suddenly malalaman mo na lang na you are being separated from a company because you are just dwelling on what is the standard, what is the average probably.
Yeah, of course. But the hope of them is that enough of you do it, that they can just fire everyone, right? You know, that's the idea. Kasi nga, kung nag-iisa ka lang, you're standing out, being, you know,
Minority.
quiet. Talagang you're going to get fired because they want the people who are going to exert more, or at least pretend to show that they are working more. Yun.
Kasi sabi nila, sir, there is this particular stereotype that if you are practicing quiet quitting, it's more of not getting a promotion. Because probably you are not going beyond what is expected from you, from your boss or something. What's your opinion with regard to that?
I've seen that reaction before. I mean, on my Facebook feed, I see a lot of posts like this. Like in America, there is this, oh, let's not glorify hustle culture. You know, you're familiar with that, right? The idea that you have to work very hard to get what you want. I know some I agree to a certain point, but then again, only up to a certain point because you know that can be used as an excuse not to do anything. You know, so I think it is also kind of a problem with, let's say, the upper parts of society because they can afford to quiet quitting or lay flat. Because even if you lay flat, if you are in the upper part of society, you still have money, you have relatives who will help you. Try to lay flat when you are already so poor. What are you going to do? You're going to die, and then you will let it drop your body. I mean, so I think it's mostly richer people who are, you know, enchanted with this kind of movement. Kasi, yun.
Those who can really afford. Kasi kung walang-wala ka talaga, kapit patalim ka. It doesn't matter if you're being exploited, if you're being abused. You need the money. So there's nothing you can do. And yeah, for example, in a company, there are a lot who are lining up for a certain job. So they can easily replace you.
Or at some point, ma'am, they also have this particular stereotype dun sa mga privileges. Kasi merong ibang, di ba, nagkakaroon ng quiet quitting because there's a lot of controversies with regard to choosing a certain employee.
Yes.
Meron daw employee A na, okay, pumapasok nga naman siya morning, afternoon, but in terms of productivity, the productivity is low. Ito namang isang empleyado na nagpa-practice ng quiet quitting. He or she is very productive. It's just that he or she is just working on an activity. And if you are the employer, you will always choose the former, which is employee.
The one who is always
There, but not
but not
productive.
really productive. Yes.
You know, the employer will always choose who in their mind is, you know, contributing to the company. And obviously, there are times when they are wrong. Because-
Regardless of the productivity.
No, they might not even see what is the actual productivity. I mean, like if you're a teacher, how do you quantify productivity? Is it the amount of paperwork that you can submit to your, you know, upper superiors, or is it how many children are actually learning from you? These children are going to come back 15, 20 years later they're going to say, you inspired me, I learned something from you, because of you I am here. But they're not going to see that yet, right? So it's harder to show your work in certain fields. You know, it's like if you're a salesman, it's so obvious. How many sales did you make this month? That's it, really. Well, for the most part. But if you're a teacher, how do you show that you were able to produce good students? You know, it's hard.
Yeah, there's
The
no
most-
set result.
The most obvious thing that you can be judged about is the paperwork. As we all know in the Philippines, the sup-sup factors, you know, ay ma'am, ang ganda nyo. But that doesn't help us. But
The subsot and buladas factor.
if the supervisor is of a low ego and wants her ego to be stroked, well, that works.
Yeah, that's correct. So there's something to do with the ego of the
So meaning to say,
supervisors.
even though that particular employee has nothing to do or hindi siya productive or hindi man lang siya magaling, as long as that particular person eat the ego of the house, he or she will stay.
Because we have to admit, not all those who are in the position are really good.
Yeah, let's
Yung
admit that.
karamihan
That's
sa
what I mean,
kanila-
it's very obvious.
Yung karamihan sa kanila, and we know that even in politics.
Even in politics.
Yeah. We know that those who are really in the position are really not the best of the best that we have. So most of them,
Actually, most of them
they
are
have
just
a
very
very low
They will disagree with you.
self-esteem.
I want to listen to Sir Levs.
I read a book. I don't know if it's very popular here, but there was this book called the Peter Principle. You've heard of this? The idea is this: we all start out from a low position, you know,
Yeah.
right? And then through experience, we show our ability, we get promoted, right? So things like that. According to the Peter Principle, you get promoted up to the point where you reach a position where you are incompetent already. You know, because you might be good at the lower parts, but at a certain point, you can't handle it anymore, whether it's physically, mentally. And the idea is, why do we always look at society and say, how come this person is at this position when he is obviously incompetent? Well, according to the Peter Principle, that's what happened to him. He was a good barangay tanod, he was a good councilor, he was a good mayor, but then because of all of his accomplishments, he got to be a senator. Well, it turns out he wasn't good at that. But that's where he will stay, because of his previous accomplishments. And so, according to the Peter Principle, which is a very pessimistic view, eventually you get promoted to the point where you are incompetent, which is why most people promoted are incompetent. Not because the people are picking incompetent, but we all say, ay, magaling siya dito, so i-promote natin siya, pero hindi pala kaya. Pero, the thing is, once you are in that position, you are going to try to stay there. You're not going to admit that you are wrong for that, you're incompetent, and step down, which is what some people will do kung may delikadesa, but most of them will try to stay there. And they will try to recruit more people who are like them. Because if they recruit competent people, what happens? It becomes obvious that they are incompetent. So what happens? I'm going to promote even more incompetent people because it makes me look good. Right?
And parang same page lang naman sila.
And that's the start of the, yung system na babagsak. Kasi everyone there is already competent.
I think I read it when I was in high school, the Peter Principle.
Yeah. And that's actually correct. It's happening in reality.
Grabe, I'm learning a lot.
Diba? O saka kaya pala, minsan sabihin natin, si ganito bakit nasa ganitong position, wala alam. Tapos, nag-promote ka siya. Another na wala rin alam.
Like,
Nagsama-sama
amazing.
yung mga walang alam. Bakit gano'n?
Yun pala yung cycle nila.
Yeah. Although he had another book, and actually never read it because we couldn't afford it. My dad only had that book, but he had the Twitter prescription. So basically, I'm assuming, because I never read it, It's how do you deal with that? If that is the situation, then how do you remedy that, or how do you recognize that this is happening? So therefore,
Parang supplemental.
yeah, I don't know. Or maybe he just wanted to sell more books. That's a very old idea, but I think it's pessimistic, but it sounds true to me.
Yes.
So with that, sabihin natin trend of quiet quitting, what do you think, sir, can be an alternative? For example, quiet quitting kasi is being practiced by a particular employee, diba? Or a group of employees. But if you're an employer addressing this quiet quitting, what do you think, or do you have any suggestions with regard to that?
Well, look, employees always complain that their employers don't care about them, right? I mean, they don't care about me personally because all they want is the profits, which is true. If you own a company, your priority is profits. If you don't, you won't have a company for long, right? Unless you're the government. The government
Your
never
company is not a
ever,
charity even.
it never ever goes out of business. So I think there should be we all know that. For example, if you are part of an institution, you should never expect that, oh, this institution will care about me personally, because they don't. They're not supposed to. The institution wasn't established to give you a job, to give you money, to give you all these things. It's a transaction. You give the institution service, the institution gives you a way to stay alive, to have monthly money, things like that. So there should be balance, which is very hard to find. As an employer, obviously you want to prioritize profits, but you also have to remember that your employees are not, like cogs of a machine that you can just interchangeably use. So
But they are assets.
yeah, I guess as long as you have some empathy for them and try to fulfill some of their needs, I think enough people will see that. But I mean, I never believe any CEO that says, I totally care about my employees. Come on, if you were to choose profits in your employees, you're going to choose the profits because again, you're not going to be CEO for long. So all these people who are quiet quitting, they should also realize that there's you can do that, but the employee is also looking for maybe something more. Maybe there are employees who will not mind you just doing your job, not giving anything extra. Maybe there are jobs like that. Of course, I know there are jobs like that. They're called government jobs. Alright? As long as you're the cousin of the congressman or, pamangkin ni mayor,
Kapamilya.
ayan, that's it.
Nepotism.
But if you're going to succeed in private enterprise, you have to find a way to present yourself as a value to your employer, right? So, I mean, it's up to each individual person. You have to find the balance. You can't expect each one, employee, employer, to be totally committed to the job, totally committed to the employee, and all that. See, he's very committed with his blender. Good job. That's his job. Anyway, yeah. So that's my idea of it. You have to find a balance between working hard and just lying flat or quiet quitting. Because I think that's what I think.
Yeah. We're learning a lot.
Yeah, actually we're learning a lot. Aside from eating this really good food from Litton Hotel, we are learning a lot.
Yeah, I'm talking too much, so I'm not
Sir-
eating.
We're actually learning a lot from Sir Levs. Is there any other follow-up, Ma'am Tess or Ma'am Sarah? Anything that you would like to know about quiet eating? Doon sa mga nanonood, if you would like to know more, feel free to drop a comment na lang sa ating video.
Yes.
So I think that's it because all of us
ayaw kang quiet quitting sa pagkain.
ayaw mag-quiet eating sa pagkain. So I think we're just going to end the vlog there. Once again, thank you Sir Levs for those very substantial input that you provided to us. Thank you also, Ma'am Tess, for being with us today and for sharing Sir Levs to everyone who are watching. And for sharing. And Ma'am Sarah, of course. Quiet eating.
She's doing quiet vlogging.
Quiet vlogging.
Yeah, because I'm so high right now.
So I think that's it for today. Thank you everyone for watching. Again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We'll see you again in another conversation. Yes, right.
Try nyo dito sa Litton Hotel.
Litton Hotel.
This one is good.
Yeah.
Ayan, hindi na siya nagka-quiet vlogging. Ayan, so I think that's it
But
for
we learned a
today.
lot from
Yeah,
Sir Levs.
actually, we learned a lot from Sir Levs. If you would like to know more, you can just drop your questions in the comment section. Then tanongin natin si Sir Levs. Malay mo may part 2. Ayan, so I think that's it for today. Thank you everyone. Bye-bye.